Your card is out of your pocket before the check even hits the table. You don't decide to reach for it anymore. Your hand just does it. And the person across from you? They stopped reaching a long time ago. You just never noticed the exact day it quietly became your job. Here's what almost everyone gets wrong about being used for money. It has almost nothing to do with how much leaves your account. You can be quietly drained by someone who's never raised their voice, never lied to your face, never once asked you directly. Because people who use you rarely take. They let you give. And by the time you feel the weight of it, you've stopped noticing you're the only one carrying it. Stay with me, because the clearest sign isn't the money going out. It's what happens the day it stops. But before we get to the money, watch the direction it flows. Their name lights up your phone, and before you've even read the message, your stomach already knows. It's not, "How are you?" It's not, "Thinking of you." It's a need, a short one, a soft one, something that ends one way or another with you giving. Now try to remember the last time it went the other way. The last time they reached out with something for you. No ask hidden underneath, no favor waiting 3 texts later. If you have to scroll back weeks to find it, or you can't find it at all, that's not a rough patch. That's the shape of the whole thing. Because if almost every contact flows in one direction, you're not in a relationship, you're a resource with a phone number. Robert Cialdini spent decades documenting the deepest social rule we have, reciprocity. In his book Influence, first published in 1984, he showed that across nearly every human culture, a gift creates a pull to give back. It's so automatic we barely feel it, which is exactly why its absence is so hard to see. When someone accepts and accepts and accepts and the return never comes, your brain just keeps waiting for a balance that was never coming. Generous people give and forget. People who use you receive and expect. And the one-way door swings open every time it's their need and stays locked when it's yours. And here's the part that will reframe every favor you've ever done. At some point, they stopped asking. Your yes became furniture. The dinner is on your card before the menu arrives. The "can you cover me" isn't a question anymore. It's a standing order you never signed. And once you see why that feels impossible to refuse, you can't unsee it. Dan Ariely, in Predictably Irrational, published in 2008, described 2 separate worlds we live in. Social norms, love, family, favors, the things we do for free. And market norms, money, price, exchange. And he found something disturbing. The moment money enters a relationship the wrong way, it doesn't just add a transaction. It quietly replaces the bond, and it almost never reverses. He tells the story of the AARP asking lawyers to help retirees for a reduced $30 an hour. The lawyers refused. Then they were asked to do it entirely for free, and they agreed. Free felt like a good deed. $30 felt like a bad job. Same work. The only thing that changed was which world it lived in. That's the trap you're standing in. To them, you switched from a person into a service a long time ago. But you're still standing in the world of love, still calling it family, still calling it friendship. That gap between the two of you is the entire game. And this is where it gets darker, because now you're being trained. I'll get you next time. I'll pay you back Friday. You've heard it so many times the words have gone soft. And somewhere along the way, you learned to do the ugliest thing of all. You started writing the debt off before they even failed to repay it. You pre-forgive it. You call it not keeping score. They call it working perfectly. At the extreme end, this has a name and a body of research. Evan Stark, in his 2007 work Coercive Control, documented how restricting someone's money is one of the quietest forms of domination because it never once looks like an attack, and the numbers are staggering. Across studies of abusive relationships, somewhere between 94 and 99% of survivors report some form of economic abuse. It's cited as the single biggest reason people stay. Now, hear me clearly. Most people being used aren't anywhere near that extreme. A community study of nearly 5,000 women found roughly 1 in 5 reported some form of economic control. You're most likely somewhere on the mild end of that scale, not in danger. But here's the part that should stop you. The same research finds that most people can't even name it. The majority don't recognize financial exploitation as a real thing at all, which is the whole design. It's built to never look like taking, so you keep pre-forgiving an IOU that was never going to be paid. And now the sign that feels nothing like money. The one that feels like your fault. Watch what happens to the warmth when the usefulness dips. You have a bad month. You say, "Not this time." And suddenly they're distant, busy, cool. The affection didn't disappear. It just recalculated. Back in 1959, psychologists John Thibaut and Harold Kelley described relationships as a kind of running ledger the mind keeps without permission. A constant silent weighing of what a person costs you against what they give back. Most healthy bonds run that math and then stop caring about the number because the connection outweighs it. But when someone is using you, the number is the connection. Their warmth is a function of your output. So go back to that reflex, your hand reaching for the card before you even think. That wasn't generosity, that was your nervous system doing the cold math for them, already knowing that peace has a price and that you're the one who always pays it. Here's the thing that changes everything once you see it. Being used was never about how much you gave. Generous people give enormous amounts and it costs them nothing because it flows both ways and then it's forgotten. What you've been feeling isn't guilt for giving too much. It's the direction, and it's the answer to one question you've been avoiding. What happens to their warmth the day you stop paying? Because that answer is the diagnosis. If the affection survives the no, it was love and you were never being used. If the warmth walks out the door the moment the money does, then you already have your answer and you've had it for a long time. And notice that's not an accusation you have to make out loud tonight. It's just information. Information you were trained not to look at. You're allowed to look now. If this changed how you see the people around you, the next one you need is on the tactics. The exact move someone uses to make you give in the first place. Urgency, guilt, and silence long before money is ever mentioned. It's in the playlist. And tell me in the comments, was it love that slowly turned into a transaction? Or were you a transaction the whole time?